Y, and Z axis. You know very well all these things. That is where you can locate the position of any of the objects. So that is the definition of the absolute space. Fine, that is geometrical system. You know very well in your academics also. But dear friends, this is the space that is called your cognitive space. Means which which is responsible for the belief, experience, perception about the places. Fine, your thinking. So cognitive space is basically what it is, get prepared or constructed by the mind, basically mentally space. Fine. So that is absolute in nature, and your everything will be get start from here to get control your physical world. Okay, so first I told you about absolute space, physical space. Now it is your cognitive space. In the first PPT also, okay, you can understand the difference between the cognitive space and the. Now here, if you heard about the Einstein, the most famous scientist of the world of this century ever, time space, he gave the theory of the relativity. So in XYZ axis, he also included the time dimension. So now we have to say it is time space, time along with the physical dimensions. Okay, so that is called time space. I just divide. Now here, what is virtual space now? As I told you, if the mind thinking or approach through the technology, we are having a control over the physical space, then the virtual space come into the existence. What is that? The space within the realm of the technologies such as your internet, then which is the game of zero and ones. Now this is the concept of the virtual space. Dear friends, virtual space, this virtual space, which is also known as cyberspace. Fine. So it is basically the word coming from the science fiction movie. Fine. Second decade of the 21st century. And here now in this, as Honorable Jaipuriya told, that during this pandemic situation or ongoing situation, this is almost now over. Thanks God. So now most of the time we spend in this cyberspace. Madam also told about the cyber cafe. So cyberspace is the world where we are spending the time. What is that? That is, we are using technology, machine
Professor
plan,
Gupta,
computer.
Professor Gupta, sorry, may I request you to give me the control? I will be able to mute it because it is difficult to do multitasking while sharing it.
Yes, of course. So, okay. So how to manage that? Just 1 minute. Okay. So control more.
Please right click.
Remote control. Should I give to you? Remote control, Dr. Deepak. Okay. I already given to you. Fine. It is with you now.
No, still not. It has come. You are the host.
But I shared the control to you.
Not control. You'll have to make me the host.
Okay. It is saying about control.
Right click in front of my name. You'll find two buttons.
Yes, it is. I already. Yes, just 1 minute.
ये छान लेने वाली दूध में मिलाई है बहुत सारी.
Remote control. Then it is here.
क्योंकि वो दूध फिर वो ना वो गिर जाएगी, दूध में कुछ फायदा तो है नहीं.
Prashant, you can put yourself on mute. Prashant Sharma, may I request you to put yourself on mute?
Sir, your name is coming about control. Fine. Dr. Deepak, and it is saying controlling.
No, it has not come.
Not come yet?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. We'll request.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So dear friends, yeah. So as I was talking about that, it is from the science fiction movie. Fine. So what is cyberspace? Basically, it is, dear friends, dynamic virtual space, which is the network of the machine clone Or in other words, it is a web of consumer, electronic, computer, communication network which interconnect the entire world. Already the light was thrown by Honorable Jaipuriya ji that now, if suppose you are having one of the electronic device which can share the data, which can produce the data, then in spite of one citizen of one of the city or nation, you become the global citizen because you can get connect to the entire world. Fine. So this is all about the history of the cyberspace. Fine. So in 1984, fine. So William Gibson, he published a science fiction book, Necromancer. So he described all about that online world of the computer. Just thinking was there, science fiction movie was there. Fine. Then how they can use the computers. Fine. So the cyberspace was first appeared in this book, 1984. Fine. So then the the advancement of the technology, now we are living in the world of the cyberspace. So it is a virtual space which has no boundaries, that is no limits. Fine. Not only you can communicate on this earth planet, but any part of the universe itself. You can communicate on the moon, you can communicate on the Mars, other planet as well. So Mars or gravity, it simply represents the interconnected space between the computer system and the other networks. Fine. So that is your cyberspace, unlimited. And it is, you know very well, it is the game of bits and bytes, zeros and ones. Fine. So this is all about your cyberspace, just the brief idea. Now my topic is get started from here, dear friends. Here, let us make a difference between what is physical world and the cyberspace. Fine. As I told you, it is a digital medium. It is not a physical space, but it is making, the interface, interactive world that is not a copy of the physical world. Interaction. I'm sitting at my office at the moment. You are sitting at your own places. So this physical world is get connected through this cyber world or cyber networks. So physical world, it is a static one. It is well defined and incremental. While the cyberspace is dynamic, undefined and exponential. Next PPT, you will see how the technology is getting, fast change day by day. Not only day by day, every moment it is getting changed. The data production, everything is getting changed. That's why one should be get aware for all these things. Knowingly or unknowingly, I should not be get trapped under the unwanted things. Physical world has the contours, but it has the vast human imagination, has no fixed shape. Fine. Physical world has the fixed shape, contours. But it is, the cyberspace, cyber world, it depends upon the, human imagination or the thinking or the vision like that. Fine. So now here, because as I told you, cyberspace has no limit, and, it depends upon the, cognitive, approach, thinking, beliefs, your approach. So that's why it is totally the game of the human brains. And I will tell you that cybersecurity is basically not a matter. Technology comes later on, but first the attitude, the psychology, the thinking, the mentality of the person comes before. Then the technology comes later on. In human brain, dear friends, there are a number of countless neurons which create a spectrum of life. Similarly, the cyberspace represents the millions of the computers creating a spectrum of the digital life. So that we can say we are the component of the cyberspace and living in the digital society. Fine. So we can say cyberspace is a natural extension of the physical world into the infinite world. Okay. Now here, dear friends, you can see the difference. As speaker already told, that now the cybersecurity is getting changed, day by day. The concept is getting changed day by day. So one should be get aware. Of course, I can say everyone cannot be the technical person, everyone cannot be the expert in the domain. But as per my experience or thinking or you can say the daily life activities, I can say one thing, that if you are having a little bit knowledge or the awareness, you can make yourself safe. Like nowadays, the children are taking classes, little kids are also taking classes at their home. Okay, when they are on the internet, they also become part of the internet system. So no one knows what the person are doing, whether they are attending the classes or whether they are making the notorious activities. Cybercrime are most, if you go back to the history, like your blue whale game or so many things are coming nowadays, dirty games are coming. So nobody knows what is happening, what a person is doing on the net, because there is no a proper mechanism, proper check for that, filter for that. Millions of people, especially during this COVID, 19, this pandemic situation, everyone is become, life is totally dependent on the technology. So that's why rapid development in the information technology, one side the technology is helping hand, but other side, very well, I will share the next ppt, is the crime rate will be doubled next 3 to 4 years. The speed of the microprocessors that doubled every 12 to 18 months. Storage density is also, getting every 12 months. Bandwidth also getting doubled. Our, it is thanks to present government that our every village of this country got electrified, and it will be get next 3 to 4 years. And the latest, conference given by Honorable Modi ji, he told that every, gram panchayat will be get connected to the optical fiber next to 2 3 years. Now price keeps dropping, making technology affordable and so these all are the things what we have to think for the future sake. What was in the past, learn the lesson from that, and keeping in mind the future, we have to think all about things. So this is the old net. ARPANET was there. I will not go the history because that is the something technical or academic session. But the new net will be depend like this, like the neurons of the brain, and dust sensor will be there. Ad hoc network will already there. So new net, this is the position you can understand, just like the neurons in the brain, and this is the old net. So new net monitor and control the critical infrastructure. That's why my topic I share, sir. One of the session, one of the engineering college, how to make secure, safe your critical infrastructure, IT infrastructure basically, because our physical infrastructure is also now based, get controlled by the IT infrastructure. So to make safe our, our physical infrastructure, it is also equally important first to take care of our IT infrastructure. Okay, so you can say that to control, and airport is also one of them. Its integrity and availability is critical for the economy. Of course, IGI or this GMR group dial, this I mean this have a very a very heavy responsibility, I can say. It is not only the matter of the security of the airport, but I can say it is the matter of the security of the entire nation as well. Public safety and the national security. Okay, so we have to think that way. Means being a employee of this airport system, or this group, service provider group. So my little mistake can cause heavy damage to the entire organization, or even if the nation as well. So here, dear friends, this is the physical security person. Okay, he's making the security, who is coming, who is going, what is happening as per his training or the role and responsibility. He's at SGI gate number 2. He's the security official or person who's taking care about the physical check of the people. But here, who's doing what? Picture is depicting itself in a remote area of the world, unknown area of the world. Who is doing what? No one has a control over this person. So this is basically, it should be our concern. Yes, whether we are safe in the cyber world or not. That is basically the way that one can think about the cyber security, its relevance and the importance. You understand what the person is doing in the lab, hi-fi software, so many fast processors, computers in his lab, or what he's doing. No one knows. That's why security is very critical, especially when we are dealing about the airport security or airport ecosystem. That is basically the topic for this session of my talk. So here you can see one side we are taking the physical security, or cameras are there, physical personnel, or your as per the protocol. Of course, airport is having the high level security level, of course, no doubt. But passengers, it is also one of the keep all time 24/7. Even if I would like to say 25/7, one hour ahead. That is the passengers, what each one is doing. Okay, you cannot check the mentality or the thinking or the psychology of every passenger. So one side there is a passenger, one side there is a physical world, physical security. In between there is a cyber world. So in this way, if you have to think that cyber security become very critical, and that is the need. So that is a special attention is required, especially when we are dealing about the critical infrastructure, that is our airport ecosystem. Okay, now Now, this is the entire things. I will say later on that now it is not only this thing, our world is coming on this cyber platform, digital platform, but more than that. So you can see that entire, entire sectors, not only the civil aviation, everything is coming on this digital platform, whether it is your food or agriculture, whether commercial e-commerce, as honorable speaker already told, dams, even if smart dams will be there, your energy, smart grid will be there, IT, of course, postal and shipping, banking, communication, defense, different government organization, ministries, everything, transportation. Okay, not only this computer, now it will be get driverless car is there. Suppose someone is getting hacked the driverless car, who will be responsible for that crime? Okay, so all these are the issues which one has to think and one has to discuss during the workshop or the get together sort of thing. So that one can get awareness for all these things, chemical factories, industries, critical manufacturing, emergency services, all these nuclear reactors, all are on the same grid, same digital platform. I'm just talking about the networking, but now it is a matter of the Internet of Things. Not only Internet of Things, IoT, it is a matter of IOET, Internet of Everything. Not only that one, it is now coming the IIoT, Industrial Internet of Things, which is, I can say one of the part of this airport ecosystem. So I'm just making very preliminary knowledge about the networking, cybersecurity networking. So cyberspace is a connected internet ecosystem. I told you it is not a matter of not only the internet. I told you that now it become the Internet of Things, means the things which can get produce the data, which can get sense the data, which can get transmit the data, that also become part of this digital platform that is called your IIoT, Industrial Internet of Things. So here you can say interconnected of the different sectors, fine. So cyber intrusion and the attacks have increased dramatically. Everyone has the connectivity on this internet through their laptop, their mobile, or any of the other electronic device. That's why it is very, very sensitive for the personal and business information, critical operations, imposing high cost on the economy. If you are not aware for all these things, knowledge, or making good best practices, so naturally we are not on the safer side. So cybersecurity is protecting our cyberspace. Okay, cyberspace means which is all part of this your world, cyber world, critical infrastructure from attack, damage, misuse, especially misuse, very, very important, and economic espionage. All these parameters are getting interconnect. So this is one of the definition given by the US Department. So critical, let us make a simple idea. What about the critical infrastructure? Fine. So system and asset, whether physical or virtual, so vital for any of the nation, like airport ecosystem. So that is under the category of critical infrastructure. Our grid, this is our nuclear reactor, okay, our communication systems, our electricity supply, lifeline systems, all these are under the part of the critical infrastructure, fine. Okay, so you can say that incapacity or destruction of such system and asset would have a debilitating impact on security, national economic security, national public health or safety, or any combination of those matters. If I'm talking about the airport, everything is there. Electricity is also there, water supply is also there, firefighting system is also there, transportation, road transportation, so many things. All are become the part of the critical infrastructure. Fine. So this is where, that's why, because we are talking about nowadays the smart cities. So critical infrastructure sector provides the modern life and defend national security. Their services impact national economic security, national public health, and the safety. Fine. So this is all about critical infrastructure. That's why cybersecurity is an integral part of overall critical infrastructure sectors. And industries addressing the risk at a sector wide, initiating minimize the potential impact on both public safety and the economy. Already shared that ransomware, the hacking, it became the serious challenges nowadays when we are talking about this, all these critical infrastructures. The people are getting, ransom money, amount for that. It is when it is short of kidnap of your system or hacking of your system. Now, on the other side, dear friends, you can say it is IT convergence is taking place. So, dear friends, these are your three stages of this convergence infrastructure. First stage, that is your IT convergence. Second is your creative, on which we are going on. And third is your eco convergence, means everything is coming on the common platform. Okay, so industry might be your vehicle, energy, construction, robot, health, so many things are there. Then second stage, human healthcare. Okay, then nano devices, computer and robotics, new upcoming areas, artificial intelligence, robotics, so many things. Cyber reality, future human interface. Might be today Dr. Brajesh Gupta is delivering a session for you people, but might be after 2 or 3 years, Dr. Deepak will invite one of the robot that please deliver a lecture on the cyber security. In spite of Dr. P.K. Gupta, he or she can deliver a question answer session for you also. So this is the way that the IT convergence is taking place. So one has to think for all these things. The conclusion is that for the entire last half an hour session is that, dear friends, the growth of the information society is having new and serious threats. If you are not having the knowledge, if you are not having the concern, if you are not having the seriousness for all these things, what is happening, you might be not tech savvy, but you are part of the system. That's why you should have the, you must have the concern for that. Okay, means of course you are not having the vehicle, 4 vehicle or 2 vehicle, but you should know the discipline of the road. You should know the rules and regulations of the traffic. Otherwise someone make you accident with you, or by mistake, knowingly or unknowingly. That's why this is the way that means it is not a matter of the tech savvy people or the expert people, because we are the part of the digital society. That's why cybersecurity is also equally concerned for everybody. This is my way of thinking. Essential services such as water, electricity supply, ICT, cars, traffic, as I told you, now it is not a matter of the driver car, but it is a driverless car. So attack against information infrastructure, internet services now have the potential to harm society in a new and critical ways. Means every time the hackers, the criminal mind people, they are 10 steps ahead than what is happening in the technology. All time, 25/7, 24/7, they have to think how to make, how to make victim for the innocent people, or where the loophole in the system might be hardware level, software level, or any of the processes. So they are thinking that way. They are 10 steps ahead. That's why crime is getting exponentially increasing day by day. So attacks against the information infrastructure, they have already taken place. Professor speaker already shared some, thought about for that, experience about that. Online frauds, hacking attacks, e-commerce, fraud. These are now become the common practices nowadays. Your ATM theft, money, okay, frauds, e-commerce frauds. It became the part of the daily life like that. So computer related crimes committed a large scale every day. You know very well, if you are a reader of the newspaper, you know very well all these things, what is happening. Might be because of the, sort of mafias, might be some gangs are there, or might be someone else. So this is the way that how the cyber securities are taking place. Now, dear friends, I would like to say it is something very interesting PPT. I love it very much. Of course, it is not a part at the moment, but here I would like to say that how the devices, because I just give IoT is not part of my session, but here I would like to say it is not a matter of the computer network, but it is a matter of the internet connected devices. Means you can see in 2003 and 2020, last 15 to 17 years, it is very interesting PPT. I love it very much. You can see the yellow color that shows the world population in billions, and blue color that shows the internet connected devices in millions. So you can see in 2003, the ratio was 0.08. Means you can say that the devices were very, very less, fine. But here you can see, I'm just jumping on this 2020, that one person, the ratio becomes 6.58. That is 1%. The population of the world is 7.6 billion at the moment, and the devices, connected devices, are of the order of 50 billions. Means every person is of the order of having 6 to 7 devices. You can also say, if you are a simple way, a person nowadays having 3 to 4 devices in the, in India itself. I have the laptop, I have the mobile smartphone, I have 2 SIM card. Okay, so 3. Then my office laptop is also there. So our desktop is there. So you can say that 3 to 4 devices are very common for every person nowadays, especially who are dealing with all this business. So dear friends, I will just go back just very fast manner that in 2000, that is 20 years before, in the beginning of this 21st century, I mean, the crime was not very official. It was very light. Means when there was a short of crime or hacking, then it was taken very, very lightly. But now it became very, very serious concern to the society, not only the society, for the nation as well as entire globe. So cyber criminal for the decade, I'm talking about 2020 year before, it was very light punishment. Okay. So later on, when after 10 years, in 2010, when there was a high profile hackers, they are getting decades of the prison for the, now after 10 years they are getting little bit punishment for the, as a punishment. So 2000 to 2010, the people realized the gravity of the cyber crimes. In 20 years before, there was no such gravity or concern about the cyber crime. But after 10 years, the people are thinking, yes, the information is also our wealth. The data is also our wealth. Now, in 2010, when there was sort of, what you can say, mishappening, crime sort of thing, or mishandling of the data sort of thing, then the people realize, the government realize, the citizen realize, of course, the information security should be also the serious concern when we are dealing about the data transmission, receiving or transmission of the data. So then information security in 2010, that became a serious concern. Fine. So in this way, that the data encryption, security of the data, fine, unreadable, unauthorized access, that became, concept of the cyber security. So information security. Cyber security is the part of the information security. Okay. Information means, if suppose information doesn't mean that only it is going through your mobile, through your laptop, or through your electronic device. Information means if from the higher official table, there is something is writing on the table, okay, a hard copy paper, fine, or any of the file, documents, sort of thing, and it is lying open, and someone is making click for that or making reading for that. There is also under the, suppose it is a confidential information, okay. So if suppose I am reading in that office, so that also become the part of the crime. Means information security got breached, the protocol got breached because I read that information, and I can make a misuse for that. So cyber security is basically the subset of the information security. Okay. There are so many threat actors targeting all types of the organizations. That is critical IT infrastructure is secured all time to prevent a full-scale attack on network and risk exposure to the company data and reputations. I'm happy, as already Jaipurjaji told, that they are having the practices for the 27001, and all the protocols, basically SOP, system of process, are there, how to get, every moment there is a protocol. So it is good thing if the DIAL or GMR group, they are having the practices for 27001. Now, this is the reason for cybersecurity, dear friends. It is just a matter of the 7 or 8 years before. It 2013, if you go that newspaper, if you have recall for that, in Hindi newspaper, there was, that NSA, there was a Snowden. He make a, public announcement, at least that most of the surveillance of the NSA, they are focusing on the India's domestic politics and strategy for the commercial interest. Means each mail or the server, the server which got installed or situated in USA space, they are able to get, reading, exposing the email for every citizen, Indian citizen. So now, then, the government got to start about that thinking, that under pressure, Indian government developed that national security policy on 2nd July 2013, when there was a leak by this person, Edward Snowden. You heard about that. Now, just simple as a layman, this was the background in which society we are living, dear friends, and what is our role and responsibility to make our, society safe and secure. Now here, just very simple. If I'm talking about cyber security, means just like I'm going out of station, out of city, in the market, I will lock my home or house or flat. So means on the main door, I'm making lock my, home or flat. So that it means that I'm making secure my flat or my residence. Same thing, I'm talking about the cyber security, means I want to make secure my cyberspace. So we can say simply that cybersecurity is nothing, but it is the security of the cyberspace. Fine. Now, what is cyberspace? As we discussed, cyberspace is a connection of the information system and networks. Fine. From one department to the another one department MIS to the another department IS, that is connected to the network. So this is cyberspace, means a combination of IS plus networks. Fine. So we can say that cybersecurity is nothing, but it is the security of the information system and the networks. Fine. But what is that? One step ahead, with the purpose, objective, protecting operation and asset. So this is the next step ahead, the definition of the cybersecurity. So this is combination for the previous slide and this slide. It says that this is security of the information system and network with the goal of protecting operation and the asset. Fine. For which we are making the best practices in the organization. Now, what is asset? Asset means the security in the face of the attack, accident, and the failures. Maybe knowingly or unknowingly. Accident may be knowingly or unknowingly. Fine. So this is the complete definition of the cyber security. Combination of the slide first, second, and third. Fine. Okay. Now, what is asset? Now, this is very, very important when we are dealing about the cyber security, dear friends. This is CIA, availability, integrity, and the secrecy for that. Okay. Now here, this is the complete definition of the cybersecurity. That is, cybersecurity is availability, integrity, and secrecy of information system and network in the face of the attacks, accidents, and failures with the goal of protecting operation and the assets. Fine. Now, dear friends, when we are talking about the cybersecurity, then it might be in the context of the corporate cybersecurity and national cybersecurity. Fine. Like Indira Gandhi Airport International Air System. I mean, that airport ecosystem, of course, GMR Group or the DIAL, both are one of the corporate cybersecurity, but they are having a concern with the national cybersecurity, not only national, international as well. Fine. Because it depends upon the gravity of the platform, basically your gravity of your cyberspace, how you are getting link, which type of services you are providing. Okay, a cyber cafe is also one of the danger part, but when we are talking about the airport ecosystem, of course that is one of the domain of the critical infrastructure, but that leak or the vulnerability can cause harm the security of a nation. So this is the context of the nation cyber security and corporate cyber security. Okay. Here I would just like to say it is the goal of protecting of a corporation, operation, and asset. Fine. But in the case of the nation cyber security, it is the network in the phase of attack, accident, and failure with the goal of protecting nation operations. You are getting my point. Here, when it is corporate cyber security.
Sumitra ji, please put yourself on mute.
When it is a matter.
Ji, I have one request. Please put yourself on mute. Sumitra ji, I request you to put yourself into mute.
So, dear friends, when it is a matter of the corporate cyber security, it means it is dealing with the corporation's operation and the asset. Fine. When it is a matter of the national cyber security, it means it is dealing or protecting with the nation operation and the asset. Fine. Now, we can say, dear friends, now keeping all this discussion, we can say now cybersecurity became a discipline. Okay, like road safety. If I'm not following the traffic rules, so I'm an indisciplined person. I can cause harm or damage to anyone. In the same fashion, if I'm not a cyber secure person or aware person, basically, so it means that I'm not a literate person in the area of the cyber security or cyberspace. So that's why cyber security became a discipline. So how to achieve this success, how to overcome all these cyber security problems? That's why one must understand all these 4 parameters. Number 1, technology. One should understand about the technology. Of course, not as an expert level, but at least as a awareness level. Okay. Economics, social influence, and the public policies. Fine. These are the challenges which we are facing in the cyber, in this digital information era, because This is inherent vulnerability that cannot be removed. One cannot achieve 100% successful cybersecurity protocol or the protection of the policies. It is only possible when the people are having a childish mind or the thinking heart or soul, basically pure heart or soul. Because I told you already, technology come later on. Okay, all these things come later on. The criminal minded, that all the things are come first into the mind, basically. So cybersecurity, basically, first the uh, the the parameter is your attitude, the attitude of a person, psychology of a person, the thinking of a person. Okay, negative minded people, they will create cyber problem. Positive mind people, they will solve the problem. Then sorry, another entry point of the internet, it is very, very serious concern when we are dealing about the airport ecosystem, because the passenger, the stakeholder are in every moment, they are in the dynamic position. Means so many people are coming in, so many people are coming out all over the world. Okay, I mean, number of people, lakhs, billions of people. So that's why it is every entry point. Okay, so that is again very dynamic thing we have to think about all this. Okay, so that's why I told you already, when we are dealing the cyber security for the airport ecosystem, it is very, very serious and challenging task. Computer network defense techniques. Okay, one has to make practices for the network, rather a critical operations. Fine, attack technology, defense technology, nation states. So these are the challenges when we are dealing about the cyber securities. Just an idea of why the system are vulnerable. Okay, where there is a leakage for that. So you can see in this way, which is a challenging situation. Client user, that is unauthorized access or the error knowingly or unknowingly. Then communication channels, okay, between the corporate server and the client user, tapping, sniffing, message alteration, theft, fraud, radiations. Fine. Corporate servers might be hacking, virus, worm, theft, fraud, vandalism, denial of service attacks. Okay, and finally it is corporate entire system, that is your server get linked with the hardware operating system and the database. Fine. So that is theft of data, which is basically all time this criminal minded people having the eyes how to get enter into that server or the system of the corporate, copying data, alteration, hardware, and so that they can export the ransom money, software failures. Okay, so this is the way that how the system became vulnerable. Fine. So this is the way that internet vulnerability, use of the fixed internet access, use of the lines. Of course, nowadays it is a matter of the Wi-Fi also, lack of encryption with the most voice over the IP. This is the old fashioned, but nowadays we are living in the 5G network system, Wi-Fi networks, fine, high-speed networks. So one has to think, one has to rephrase his mind, yes, how to make, how to sort out all these challenges or the problems in a very effective and smooth manner. Softwares, virus, worms, Trojan horse, spywares, fine, computer virus. So these all are the things one should be knows the definitions and their loss to the entire identity theft is also become one of the serious concern nowadays. Cyber terrorism and cyber warfare. It is a high level or nation level, cyber crimes which is happening. When we are dealing with the, training to the police officers, we have to deal all these things. Just recently, I delivered a lecture, cross-border terrorism, where we have no control over all these issues or the things, because there is no certain policy, global level policies. This is also one of the concern, because when a person is having the internet, as I told you that if I'm in India, I called Indian. If I'm in America, I called American. Australia, I'm called Australian. Okay, because I have that citizenship, that boundary of that country or nation or continent. But if I have the internet has no boundary. It is in the entire global, and I have that communication too. Because if I have this smartphone with me or any one of you, so I have connectivity anyone, anywhere, anytime. It means that if I have that electronic device with me, so I'm not at the moment Indian. I'm the global citizen at the moment because I can communicate to anyone. Okay, so for that, one has to make a vision. The government should make a vision for that, how to develop a common platform, common policy for that. When I discuss some of my friends, they told me in some of the countries, there's no need to take your SIM card. There's no ID for that. You can take SIM card and you can use it. Some of the country are still having that facilities. So you can understand what will happen if suppose there is a criminal minded people for that city or country. Anyway, so this is the way that lack of the policies, vulnerabilities, so many things are taking place. Fine. Here, I would like to say, inadequate security and the control may create serious legal liabilities, as I discussed with you at the moment, because there is no common policy on the international level. Even if in our India also, some of the person are having number of SIM card, especially the crime-minded people, they are having dozens, 50 or more than number of SIM card, mobile phones. How one person is getting all these things? So this is again a loophole in the policy of the system. So inadequacy, security, and the control may create serious legal liabilities. Business must protect not only their own information asset, but also customer, employees, because everyone is the stakeholder for that. Failure to do can lead to the costly legislation for the data exposure or thefts. Okay. So a sound security and the control framework that can protect business information can thus produce a high return on the investment. So this is all about basic concept about the cyber security. Come back to the airport ecosystem, dear friends. Yet I already discussed some of the points for that, but you will see that aviation cyber security, there are major challenges which can be get faced airport or airlines system or organization currently as well as in the future. So number one, as I told you, it is not a matter of the computer network, but it is a matter of nowadays high generation, next generation of the network, NGN, next generation network. Nowadays we are getting entered into the 5G network. And too much connectivity, Wi-Fi, not only the wired lines, but it is now Wi-Fi. Anyone can get enter into your system through this electromagnetic wave radiations if the security points are very weak or vulnerabilities there. Quickly evolving threat landscape. So this is cybersecurity challenges, solid legacy systems, multiple regulations, and overall, as speaker already have highlighted this point, that this airport ecosystem is having complex ecosystem. Fine. Why it is so? Because passengers, dynamic in nature, airlines, because it is not a matter of the Delhi airport or national airport. The flights are coming all over the world. Okay, so that's why airlines connectivity and every airports, it is get connected to your the base airport. So that's why local and national government policies, third party service provider, of course vendors are there, so they are also the part of the system, stakeholder as a stakeholder. Airport suppliers, surface transport operations, there are multiple operations on the transport itself, surface airport operations, very challenging task again. So this is all the way that airport ecosystem became one of the complex ecosystem. And so because it became one of the complex in a critical infrastructure, complex plus critical, both are there, complex plus critical infrastructure. As a result, cyber security is very serious concern in such type of the what you can say organization or ecosystems. Dear friends, this PPT talk itself, there is nothing to say about all these. The society where we are living, this is global cyber threats, where, as I told you, it is not a matter of the technology, it is a matter of the thinking, the psychology or attitude of a person. Terrorism is there, okay? Then hackers are there, attackers are there, so many things, pornography, so many cyber crime is taking nowadays. Social media also become part of that cyber crimes. Fine. So this is the cyber threats in our digital society, or we call this information society. These are the threats and the of this thing, whether it is nation level, terrorist, cyber criminal organizations, hacker, activist, all these things are there. As I told you already, there are a number of threats, especially when we are dealing with the critical infrastructures, malware, okay? That is malicious software to disrupt the computers, virus, theft of intellectual property. It is also very important. And nowadays, the point was missing basically, as I told you, that cyber security is very wide area, just like universe. So now GDPR also become one of the concern of the cyber security. How to protect, how the organization is making the privacy policy for their customer or stakeholders. So theft of the intellectual property of the data. Of course, government is making the rules, and it is bill got passed in Indian Parliament. Hacktivism, mobile devices, okay, social engineering, fine, spear phishing, DNS attacks, router security, then denial of services. So these are threats for any of the ecosystems. These are some of the players already defined you, but these are some of the definitions which will help you to understand the gravity of these negative-minded people for this airport ecosystem. First, your cyber criminals. They are seeking commercial gain from hacking bank, financial institution, as well as phishing scam and computer ransomware. Okay. Cyber terrorism. Uh, like I told you in one of I'm in NCR, sir. So in Noida, one of the companies, they are having a good amount contract, okay, from the foreign organization supplier. Then the hacker from the Korea, African country, Nigeria, I can say, it was this case was shared with me from one of the police officers in Ghaziabad. He told me it was supposed some amount was there, fine. Suppose 1 crore, fine. So the hacker hacked that mail account of that officer from the Noida company and sent a mail on the behalf of the supplier. He told, please send me the amount. So when the officer in the Noida company, he sent 75%, that is approximately 75 lakhs rupees to the account of the company. Then later on, after passing that amount, that supplier told, please send the amount. Then the supplier, the customer already told, we already sent the money, transferred the money. But it was basically the phishing mail by virtue of which the hacker was sending that mail, phishing mail, and the amount got transferred in the account of the England bank. So this is the way that they are charging through the phishing mail. They are misleading the organization. Cyber terrorism, mission to penetrate and attack critical asset, nation infrastructure relating to the political power and the branding. It is also become now part of the system. Cyber terrorism, cyber espionage, using stealth IT malware to penetrate both corporate and military data servers. Fine. Cyber hacktivists. So all these are, this is anonymous group. So now in the case of these motives, you can see that these are increasing from the cyber vandalism. They are increasing to the cyber crime, then cyber surveillance, then cyber espionage, and finally cyber warfare. Okay. So from the grassroots level, cyber vandalism to they are moving one step ahead. Okay. And that become become part of the cyber warfare. So this is encouraging sophisticated and motive of the threats. So the definition I try to get linked with this gravity of the crime. This is a simple example. Already discussed a lot. Bitcoin is one of the currency that all these criminal-minded people, they get personal data and ask for that, especially when we are dealing the e-commerce and the finance sector. Fine. They break the trusted supply chain. Fine. Hackers, advanced persistent threats, APT. So critical infrastructure, if you see the left right hand side, then it is open system and internet used for the critical that the result is growing the risk. Basically airport is also part of that, under that category. Fine. Cyber warfare, denial of services. Fine. We discuss all this. So this is the way that how these are some of the example how they are charging heavy amount from their victims basically, and it is because of the vulnerability. Fine. So this is the way that how the cyber attackers, they are charging money for that. Here, dear friends, this is all about what is happening in the world. Here, let us come back to the last year recently. This is basically a survey report. This says that e-crime attacks in 2020. You can see this is circle, the percentage ransomware. Ransom basically means unwanted money. It is 81% ransomware under this category. Okay. Ransomware, it is financially motivated e-crimes. Fine. And the other crime, it is 19%. So this is the pie chart for that. 81% under the category of ransomware. Fine. Intrusion methods, how they are getting entered. You can see internal. Of course, as I told you, it is not only the matter of the, as I told you that for any of the asset, the employee might be the valuable asset for any of the organization, and they might be the vulnerable component for any of the organization. If they are having lack of the information or their intention is not fair, then they also can create such type of the cyber problems to any of the organization. So you can see that intrusion methods in last year, this is the report 2020, it says the internal itself 69%. Okay, very alarming situation. And external, they are 17%. Ransomware, it is 14%. So internal employee is also become part of that, activities, negative activities. Self-identified breaches, it is last 3-year report. You can see in 17, it is 68%, 18, 75, it is increasing. Then it is 19, 79%. And here you can say in 20, 69% self-identified and 14% ransomware. So this is here. This is here how we can make a incident response life cycle. So first, for that, one should we get prepared for that in the first
Amir Khan,
phase,
please mute
second
yourself.
phase,
Amir Khan.
detection, and third phase, containment, and fourth phase,
Amir
post-incident
Khan,
activity.
kindly mute yourself.
Now, dear friends, this is a survey report.
Amir Khan, please mute yourself. Please go ahead, sir.
Yes.
Amir Khan, please mute yourself. Amir Khan, kindly mute yourself, please. Amir Khan ji, may I request? Yeah, thank you. Okay, sir, we can go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So, dear friends, this is again one of the alarming situation. Alarming situation in the sense that the cybersecurity crimes. Cybersecurity facts and the figures. It says that it is again a survey report of ISTR. It says that cybercrime damage will cost 6 trillion annually by 2021. Okay, you can understand the gravity of such crimes. Cyber attacks are increasing and evolving. 54% they are increased in the mobile malware in 2017. In 2016, this increment on the attack of the Internet of Things devices, 600%, 6 times, very alarming situation. Then 46% increase in the new ransomware variants. So cyber attacks are increasing and evolving, especially during this last 1 year pandemic situation. Criminal minded have more, more impact on the society or such type of the platform, digital platform. And one should be, I would say that everyone should be have a concern for that, how to make safe and secure society. It is again a survey report that 91%, it was a survey report, it says that cyber attack will be increased in their sector in the next 1 year again, 1 to 2 years. 91% they believe that. Okay, 57% says that they are securing the cloud. Cloud security will be the top priority. That is the observation or the approach of the 57% of the respondent. Fine. Here you can see it is again very alarming things. Here you will see that the blue picture, the blue color, that shows the services sector. Okay, and the purple color, that is the product sectors. Fine. This says that in 2019 and 22, sorry, that is in the 3 years, what will be the change? It says that in 2019, 948 million, that is approximately 47% or 48% approximately, they will be the part of the service sector, and 52% will be the product sector. But here in this 2022, this says that 46.18% will be the service sector and 53% will be the product sector. Fine. So this is the investment. Response felt that the current investment in the cyber security. Okay, so the people are having now concern about the cyber security, and this is the figure in the in the next 2 to 3 years, yes, we have to get more investment in the cybersecurity. Fine. Here, again, it is a survey part. 76% respond. This says that they are not having the adequate budget for to counterface the cyber threats, and that would need to increase the investment in the cybersecurity. As I told you, now everyone has to get consent for the cybersecurity. Now the people are giving more weightage to get protect their either service sector or the product sector or their ecosystem in the domain of the cybersecurity. Okay. With just a basic PPT again for the management perspective, that how the how the breaches are taking place, how the threats are taking place. So you will see that, dear friends, in the left hand side, if you can see my cursor, that here in the beginning the system are not at risk, fine, but because of the adverse behavior and the management. Adverse behavior means knowingly or unknowingly negative behavior. 80% of the breaches had patches available for more than 1 year. Means we are not having the concern what is happening in our infrastructure. That's why that promote the risk, and the system which was not at risk, now it became at risk. Fine. Now it is the process of risk management. If we check that that risk promotion activities, then we can check that, we can put barrier for that, and then we can reduce the risk. So then our system will be again get back in the initial position, that is safe and secure. So system will be not at risk. Second step, if the system is at risk, second phase, that says then it means you are inviting the attacks. Okay, and 64% are saying they are resulting from the hacking. Okay, now thing is that 38% are utilizing the malware. Fine. So again, it is on the attack. So what will happen? The system will be get affected. Again, that is a threat management process. You will get the recovery through that reversible process. The system will be at risk, then get back again. Then risk can be get reduced. So this is the dynamics of the threats and the resilience. Here, dear friends, this is the way in which technical figure is there. These are the 3 layers, and you will see that upper layer can depend upon the layer level when it is HMI, human machine interaction, that is authentication, then computer algorithm where you are using the crypto algorithm, security protocols. This is the role of the cyber security for the crypto algorithm. Then software architecture, that is resource allocation on the process isolation. So you can see that upper layer is getting correct processing for the user intent. Then it is correct execution of the computer algorithm and the correct execution of the environment. Fine. So this is the real way that how we are dealing with the technology. So we can see that the upper layer depends on the lower level if it has higher integrity and availability. Software built on the hardware. Now, dear friends, first, when we are teaching the student community, we have to say for 5 parameters for that. That is the message, the channel, then your protocol, then the media, and the security was nowhere. But now security became the part of that communication or data transmission. So security became the #1 priority for that. That's why security begins with the trustworthy hardware. Security will be the inbuilt in the future or at present need of the hour, that it is the most concerning factor for any of the information system. Now this is here, dear friends. Here you will see that how the attacks got innovated. Fine. So you will see they are moving top to down one. This is application, then it is operating, then it is virtual machine, then it is hardware. So basically the traditional attacks, they are focused on the application layer. Fine. When it is operating system infected, then the threats are hidden from the security products. And when it is the new stealth attacks, they are getting embedded themselves in the operating systems. Fine. Like ransomware, there was a vulnerability in the Microsoft. Okay. So that's why there was a cause that the hackers getting expose that vulnerability or the loophole, then they get enter into the system. Here I'm coming back because topic is related with the airport ecosystem. So you will see that in this PPT, it is good one. You will see that the aviation cyber threats, they are getting growing. Reason is that as we discussed already a lot, that #1, our airport ecosystem, it is critical infrastructure under the domain of the critical as well as complex. So first, there are more interconnected systems. Fine. Second, That is less isolated architectures, fine. E-enabled aircraft, cloud services, total airport management, fine. And third part is there, more network centric, okay. Infrastructure and the operations all are based on your IT, okay. Communication, ICT, I would like to rather say ICT, information communication technologies, fine. It means that all these three combinations, interconnectivity, isolated architecture, and more network centric, it means that these are more reachable target, okay. That's why one region, IP, Internet Protocol, okay. So migration from interoperability to the standard IP based network with public available vulnerabilities, IPs. As I told you, passengers are coming in and out, millions of people are coming in and out, fine. So IP based. Second, COTS, more information sharing through increased use of the commercially available information technology, COTS. And third is there, increasing connectivity and the use of non-protected by designing data link communications, means wireless communication or Wi-Fi communications. So there's a more probability of the get enter into the system, okay, because of the data in the air. You can say Wi-Fi means data in the air. That's why to get overcome all these things, there's a new domain, or you can say new discipline created, or there was evolution of cyber threat management. For the top officials perspective, you can say the cyber threat assessment can be get divided into two categories. Number one, it is the response, fine, and one is the cyber threat intelligence. The first part says that one has how to get enterprise security ecosystem. So first, one, business drivers and objectives should be well defined, risk policies and standards, identification, and the asset profiling. So these are the four part for that, okay. And the next, intelligence, your people, process, and technology awareness campaign, okay. The knowledge about the technology, updation about the technology, security operation and the capabilities, that is capacity building, that is the part of the intelligence, compliance monitoring and the reporting. What should be the strategy for that? Generally, we can say that a national plan, action based upon the national vision to achieve the set of the objective, contribute to the security of the cyberspace domain, okay. So it is the responsibility not only the nation but every citizen of the nation, which can define the goal, milestone, matrices, addressing the issues, regulators to support the role, education, awareness. I'm happy that this knowledge management platform of the Dial GMR group, they are having this open discussion through this way of educating the people or employee. Role of stakeholders, funding and budgets, R&D, local, national, international cybersecurity ecosystem, more important, fine. And this is the way, this is, this is a sort of depth, defense in depth, basically. That should be basically, dear friends, four parameters, four steps are there in a cyclic order. Number one, predictions, okay. One has to predict the attacks, target and the methods. Second, preventions, detection and response. Prevention again of two types, reactive and proactive. So in spite of reactive, one should be thinking in advance, that should be the proactive, fine. Detection, identifying the attacks. Then response, I just told you before that, that was IR, incident response. There were four phases were there. So this is the way that how a leadership can think about the defense in depth, that is a proactive fashion. And this is cybersecurity policy in Indian government. As I told you already, in 2013 there was no policy, but 2nd July it was get adopted. The vision is that to build a secure and resilient cyberspace for the citizen, business, and the government. Okay, that is Indian government. The mission is that to protect information and information infrastructure in the cyberspace, to build the capabilities, prevent and respond to the cyber threats, vulnerabilities, minimize the damage from the cyber incidents, combination of the institutional structure, people, process, technology, and the corporations. This is the objective, dear friends. You can go through all these things from the Indian governments. So still there's a need for the cyber secure experts. Now, I would like to say one thing, that now it is not only the matter of the computer network, dear friends. I just have participated yesterday. If you go back, there was one of the, Aero India, okay, Aero India 2021 in Bangalore. Aero defense, fine. There's virtual and hybrid model exhibition is taking place nowadays, last 13 years. So now it is not a matter of the computer network. Now you will be happy to know that DRDO, they developed the quantum communication, computing, quantum communication that is more secure. So today we are dealing about this computer communication, but might be after, with respect to time, next 10 year or 15 year, we are dealing with the quantum computing. Fine. So technology is getting changed. Of course, quantum computer is not at our office at the moment, but of course, next 1 to 2 years we shall be get able with the 5G, being at par with the global standards. Some of the country already are 5G technology. India is also one of them. But here, one has to make that what will be the dynamic exponential growth for that. And all these are getting revolution in the information communication technologies. The first G was 1980s, that is analog phone was there. Then 19, second digital phone was there. Then 2000, messaging plus data was there. Then 10, it was 4G, that is your IP broadband was there. And 5G, you can understand everything, enhanced broadband industry. Now we shall deal about the industrial internet of things. Fine, everything, not only things, everything. So artificial intelligence will be there, fine. Then your robotics, machine learning, data science, so many things will become on the common platforms. So that is the ecosystem for the next generation networks. So you will see that smart house, healthcare, transportation, agriculture, smart cities, advanced traffic management. Okay. Here I would like to say one thing, that in one of the astronauts in America, he got hacked his ex-wife bank account. So how to put that into that crime category? Because there is no boundary of the world, neither America or any of the country, and he was in the space. So but he make the crime, cyber crime. He hacked the account of his ex-wife. Of course the case was settled down later on, but there are some unwanted or beyond imagination thing will be get happen through the cyberspace. Fine. So this is the way that if suppose a child below the age of the 15 years is making a crime, how to put the punishment for that, and he's making very serious threat to the system. So these all are the things one has to get aware for all these things. Here, dear friends, I would like to say that the future technology to be designed with the security. As I told you that when we are teaching the students, then we have to say security the last parameter. But now security will become the first parameter. Okay. If you go back any of the sensitive area, first all the officer or the in charge of that, or you can say the commandant of that area, first they will develop a boundary and put a lock. Then whatever may be get happen, they will be get to start their infrastructure, whether physical or IT, whatever may be. In the same fashion, first if you are to build new infrastructure, first the security should be the first concern for everyone. Okay. So the future technology will get designed with the security, and there will be the 5 component or the parameter for that. Number 1, that will be the smart NF. That is, the innovation must be deliver more capable solution to keep pace with the threats. Okay, means one step ahead. Open platform and security standard must be open to the promote collaboration and acceleration adoption. Trusted, very very important. The technology and security providers must be trustworthy in the creation and promotion of their products. Strong enough, strong as well as robust, I would like to say. Product and services must be hardened, and compromise makes security transparent to the users. Ubiquitous security must be protected data wherever, because I told you cyber means anyone, anywhere, anytime. So that's why it is omnipresent sort of thing. Security must be protect data wherever it exists or it used for the parties and devices across the computer landscape. Like nowadays, pandemic, this situation, COVID-19, of course, it is almost over now, but the people are working at home, work from home. So in the multinational company, where there is a strict protocol for that, you cannot put your mobile inside, you cannot take your electronic device inside, your pen drive, but now you are working from home. So how to define the protocol for that? At home, the officer is not having the control over the employee. So that's why the policies have to be get, change. I mean, change with respect to time. So in the future also, one has to think about if a person is working from home, how to deal with the security measure for that. Security must be part of the design for the future. Adding security after is no longer sufficient or means, as I told you already, it should be in a proactive fashion, not in a reactive fashion. If you are dealing with the reactive fashion, it means you are ready to face the loss to any of the organization. So it should be in a proactive manner, okay, in a very smart and advanced manner. So that is basically the purpose of my this session, how to deal with the cyber security. We are dealing with all these things, sir, that we are dealing, because as Anchor told already, that we are dealing with the Ministry of Home Affairs, attending to the police officers and ICT and Ministry of Power as well. So we are dealing with all these things: protection from cyber crime and frauds, digital, computer and mobile forensic. We are dealing with the kids and students also, especially for the women. GDPR also our area of specialization, cybersecurity for the enterprises, threat management, ISO 27001, and cybersecurity for the IoT. This is our area in the domain of the cybersecurity. So this is my contact detail. Myself already, Brijesh Gupta myself. So you can reach me through this mobile number, through Dr. Deepak, or through Madam Sony. You can contact me for any of the query. It will be most welcome, and I would be happy to get join hand in future also to give more insight or discussion for this cybersecurity domain. Thanks a lot for patience hearing. I am sure that you enjoyed my session, and I shall come back. It is not the matter of the technology first, it is a matter of your thinking, your approach, and your psychology. Then you can understand how to deal with the cybersecurity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brijesh. Thank you so much for such a wonderful, insightful sessions. I can already see the messages coming. They're saying that it was very insightful, very knowledgeable. Means a lot, sir. It has been. Yeah, see, we are getting very useful session, Ashish Gupta says. So we're getting live feedback, sir. We really don't have to wait for the end of the session. So it was really nice, and I'm glad that everyone felt benefited from this. So over to you, Deepak, sir, for your inputs.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before we go to the concluding remarks, I think there was one question that has come from our ARFF head, Mr. Rishikeshan ji. He has asked that does mere alertness by individual can stop the cyber crime?
Yes, I agree, sir, because I told you if we can join the hand. For example, I will give simple example, my dear. Suppose I'm an officer, I already told you, and by the time Dr. Deepak, I'm going outside for any of the reason, might be for washroom or for any of the things, I'm going outside, and for example my computer is open, okay, and some very important data is on my screen, okay, and suppose a negative minded people is coming and he can read my information, so it is again under the category of cybercrime. Means my data can be get misused. I give the example of that, hard copy example, that is part of our digital forensic, okay, who get enter into my office, who read that. Even if a little things, even if I would like to rather say, if suppose I went outside, my pen drive is there in my system, suppose someone someone is getting okay, I should tell you one thing. Suppose sweeper is coming in my room, housekeeping person is coming in my room, you don't know about all these things, and suppose by the time my pen drive is lying downside on the floor, he get floor and it go to screen, who is responsible for that? It again become part of the cyber crime. You are getting my point? So the little things, if suppose you are on a very senior position, so like important VIP you are for the organization, the same manner your system is also equally important for the organization. I would like to say this thing. I think you are agree with this thing or not? No?
Yes, I completely agree with you. So thank you so much once again.
There are so many things. I would say that thing that is under the part of our data protection, because I told you this is a very wide topic. So I will tell you the data protection. Even if, my dear friends, if you are using your social media, I will just make the aware, even if your age, your health parameter, your gender, your beliefs, your religion, all this become very, very sensitive, and you have to protect your data. Being as an Indian, We are not giving proper value to our data basically. And data is the money nowadays. Every business is now getting playing on the data itself. This is my request and advice to everybody. Please put your data in your lock, just like your valuables in your bank lockers. So same manner, you have to put your data protected very, very high priority. This is my advice and request to everybody. And purpose of my session also. Fine.
So thank you, Professor Gupta. It was a wonderful session. And I hope that it's a small stepping stone with respect to our learnings and what we could have learned right now from your session. Probably we need to introspect ourselves, and each individual has got its own responsibility to ensure that how we are going to make the entire ecosystem safe. Not only you mentioned about dial GMR, but you talked about the country also and the importance that you try to connect that through dial. It is not only the aviation sector. Probably we have a entire country to protect with respect to data. So many topics were touched by our respected CEO, Mr. Vidhay Kumar Jaipuriar sir. And that included that the environment should be safe, secure, and resilient. That was the key thing. And when you started your session, sir, you have very well defined this cyberspace. What is cyberspace and what are the various components of cyberspace? After that, you went to the cybersecurity system, how this is impacting. And then you also tried to compare with the population versus the gadgets that we are using. So initially we understand it is only your mobile and your laptop, but there are other few more gadgets, electronic gadgets, that also you have brought into the notice. So statistical data were presented to understand this part. Important thing that what are the various requirements that is important. You also explained that how complex plus critical infrastructure can create a serious concern. So that we need to look upon. And the most important thing is that before we think of entire system, we need to think of ourselves, and we need to think that this is something which is precious, and it should be, and equally you have related that think that you have kept your valuable things inside a locker. So if we can think only this line, that how we are going to protect our data and how we are going to ensure our system, so that not only our work area, the entire ecosystem can be seen, understood, and secured as safe. So thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session, right? Words are less to explain the way you have shared all your thoughts. Probably we from DIAL would like to thank on behalf of entire team members as well as our CEO, sir. And we would love to hear from you in future also. Hopefully we will have some extended hours of discussion to see that how we can take it to another level. So thank you so much for this.
Just 1 minute, dear friends. I will take just 15 seconds because talking is going on. For example, nowadays our children is coming on the online classes everywhere. Fine. Now you don't know what is happening, and the hackers are reading the mentality of a child. Child is not a mature enough. So through the game part, the hacker can hack your mobile, your Wi-Fi system, and when your Wi-Fi system is get hacked, and your employees also on that system, modem or your router, then it means that the hacker get direct impact on your router, and employee get connected to your organization. So how you are taking care means the mentality or the hacker read the psychology of the kid. Through the reading of the psychology of the kid, he get entered to your system get entered to your device get connected to the organization. So these are interlinked things. As I told you already, if I am having a smartphone with internet connectivity, I'm not an Indian, I'm the global citizen. It is my own definition given by myself, my experience. I don't know whether you are agree or not. When you are
completely agree,
right
device,
you become not a nation citizen, you become the global citizen, and it is fact. You have to realize that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks. Hope so. Recording was there. I enjoyed that session. I don't know the feedback of the people, but I tried to, because I was having, when madam was talking yesterday evening, I thought what the level of the audience, how to get convince my views. But I can say that when I'm going through all this feedback the people enjoyed my session. That is the purpose and objective of my this talk. Thanks a lot. I
So
enjoyed.
one thing I would like to tell you before we conclude that the session started and still we are having 80% of our participants who are still connected. So you can understand.
It was, of course, it is what you can say their love and affection to the knowledge, and madam was telling me because of their other engagement in the organization they can leave the session with respect to time, but I was sure that my topic will be the interesting one. I didn't write
Yes,
this
yes.
mail, but I tried to make it.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Yes, thanks a
Okay,
lot.
thank you. So with this, we end our session.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Gupta.
please give me the feedback of your, if there is a feedback process in your organization, you can give me the feedback report.
Definitely, sir.
Sure,
Definitely.
sure.
And
Okay.
I would
Besides
like
that,
to,
we have a live feedback also coming, and we'll give you the other feedback too.
okay, thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thank you. Thank you
We shall
so
keep in
much,
touch.
sir.
I think it was in under the time limit, na? There was no.
Yeah, it's under the time limit.
Perfectly
Yes.
on time, sir.
Oh, now enjoy your
Okay.
lunch. Have a wonderful day
Have a
and
good day,
weekend
sir.
also. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
madam.
Okay, sir. Bye. Have a nice day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for
Enjoy.
taking up time.
Enjoy. Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Swami. Okay,
Sir, you
please.
will have, since you have the control, you will have to end it from your side.
So I'm making a recording was from your end or at my end?
It's already recorded. So moment you end, the recording will come.
Okay, I shall make it end. Fine. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.